Hi, hello, welcome. So basically I went and asked like 1,000 people to rate the major Gravity Falls characters, and then I crunched some numbers and made this tier list based on those results. Also, if you've watched any of these videos before, you might have noticed there's a new channel now. I'm on a new channel. So if you want to see more of this kind of Gravity Falls content, make sure you're subscribed. Otherwise, you might not see it. Okay. Now, without any further ado, this is how the world, or, the 1,000 people I asked, view Gravity Falls characters. We start with Dipper, our main character. What a fantastic protagonist. He's silly, he's smart, he's adventurous, he's definitely not perfect, but when it comes down to it, he's got a heart of gold and he does not back down, no matter how scary it gets. That is such an easy S tier for our Pine Tree. And like all the good things about Dipper can also be said about Mabel. She gets a lot of critique in the fandom for being self-centered.
Huge opportunity for me.
Well, it's a horrible opportunity for me.
She is, but you know what else she is? She's a real one, and for every mistake she makes, she has like 5 million other examples of brightening someone's day, and also probably sweaters. She has so many of those. So you all decided that brought her up into S tier as well, just below Dipper. Stan, our lovely money-grubbing, law-dodging grunkle. Also the source of some of the best jokes in the show.
It seems like the kind of thing a responsible parent wouldn't want you doing. Good thing I'm an uncle.
He may not be polite or fair to tourists or the best at saying please, but even though he sometimes misses the finer details of moral uprightness, well, his aim is getting better.
Her aim is getting better.
That's an S tier for every time our grunkle proved just how much he cares about his family. In my mind, the undisputed GOAT of Gravity Falls. He's not the most intellectual character around, but honestly, I don't think it matters to what he does, and what he does is bring such a genuine, supportive, positive energy wherever he goes. Get yourself a Soos in your life, because oh my goodness, I think we would all benefit from being a little more like him, and if that isn't S tier, I don't know what is. Wendy, cooler than ice, or well, I guess probably as cool as ice, because that's like her symbol. And anyway, she's the epitome of like the cool cousin that everyone wants to hang out with because they're just so awesome. But I don't think we get any huge character moments from her, so she's just kind of herself, being great the whole time, and that earned Wendy our first spot in A tier. Now Grenda, loud, confident, and will put you in a body bag if you're not careful. I personally found her sudden outbursts of manly girlishness really funny, but it would seem you all didn't quite agree there because she only got C tier. And Candy did not fare any better. In fact, Candy was slightly lower. I'm not actually sure why. I thought these two were both pretty good, but hey, the data does not lie, so here we are. And Gideon, well, at least he'll make them look good by comparison. Yeah, his self-centered, I deserve the world attitude, coupled with the fact that the town thought he was cute enough to let him get away with most of it, just made him feel kinda, ugh. But he did give himself a shot at redemption in the show's finale, so that, I think, rescues him from F and brings him up to D tier. Alright, well, his dad, Bud Gleeful, did not get the redemption arc, so yeah, he landed in F tier. I think calling him a car salesman gives you just about the right picture of what kind of a guy he is. Now, Blubs and Durland, on the other hand, are not defined by their careers. I have to talk about these two together because really, they are inseparable in the show and also inseparable in the tier list. They both make their way into B tier right next to each other where they belong. Blendin Blandin, a character ahead of his time, or before it, or, well, I don't think he really knows where he's going, but as a pseudo-antagonist, he was alright. You all put him in C tier. Oh, Robbie, he's kind of the worst. His words may differ, but his actions suggest pretty clearly that he really only cares about himself, so despite being a primary supporting character who has a spot in the prophecy, he actually only gets into D tier. And not even like high D tier either. He's lower than Gideon. Lazy Susan, she's a bit quirky, but she has like one of my favorite jokes in the show. I mean, it's not even from the show, it's from one of the extra clips.
Refill?
Oh, the hide behind is definitely real. Might even be behind me right now. Let me see. Wow.
But yeah, her general lack of plot involvement, I think, only got her into C tier. And Manly Dan, you know what? These characters are underrated. Manly Dan is also only C tier. I mean, sure, he has anger issues and generally causes problems for people around him, but come on, he's so funny.
The fishes, they seek revenge. Swim, boys,
Whatever. Toby Determined also gets C tier, but like towards the top. And I think it's probably because I put Bodacious T in the Google form. I just love that for him. Now, interestingly, Tyler Cute Biker escapes the side character trap of C tier. He gets into B, but not just into B tier, no, the very top spot in B tier. So all I can really say is, get it, get it. All right, the gnomes. Yeah, no, they got D tier. They were somehow even worse than Robbie. Sherlock Bleeding Holmes, an early episode antagonist. People also put him in D tier, though you gotta admit his finale sword fight on the roof was pretty satisfying. All right, the ghost couple from the convenience store. A little cute, a little deranged, a nice balance of everything, you know? So they got C tier, which as far as the villains of the show go, I guess is fine. Like, it's not the Manitars. They got D tier, which, yeah, I think the fandom has some strong opinions about gender norms, and the Manitars are usually the embodiment of toxic masculinity, which I suppose makes for good antagonists. The Multi-Bear, kind of a sweetie, and he listens to Icelandic pop sensation Baba, so despite being a pretty minor character, he actually makes it almost to the top of B tier. Quentin Trumbly, the 8.5th president. A little goofy, alright, very goofy, and the focus of an iconic meme template. He makes it into B tier as well for what I can only imagine are his absurd views on pants. The Summerween Trickster, a candy monster who represents the spirit of Summerween. A little creepy, a little funny, the perfect villain for a Gravity Falls episode. But yeah, he only gets a spot in C tier. The curse of the antagonists. Rumble McSkirmish. Okay, I love how over the top he is about everything, and like, come on, his anime speech about betrayal was so good. But he was an antagonist, and you know what that means. C tier. Rumble, no. Now, Mermando was a solid love interest, some guitar playing, some tragic backstory, and a lot of wavy hair. That places him solidly in C tier. I guess everyone's in here several times. Okay, so these guys aren't C tier. They didn't even make it that high. They're in D tier below Gideon. What? They were funny and like genuinely pretty sweet. What did my boys do to deserve D tier? This is outrageous. It's unfair. Zyler and Kraz, more of Mabel's classic teenage crushes. They are so funny. I mean, come on, they have PhDs in a hunkiness. But I guess that doesn't count for much here because they got like low C tier, right above Manly Dan and right below Rumble. You know what? All the buff guys in this show are at the bottom of C tier. Maybe there's something going on there. Well, anyway, next up is Big Henry. Now, this is a character with aura and such a beautiful storyline. He may have been on screen for like less than a minute total, but despite that, he reaches B tier, and we love that for him. Gabe. Yikes. You know, at least he knows what he's about, and what he's about is puppets to like the exclusion of all else. I don't know if it's because he was like withholding love based on puppet show performance, or if it's because he started making out with his puppets at the end, but Gabe somehow managed to claw his way down to almost the very bottom of F tier. Impressively bad. Giffany, very cute, very sparkly, very murderous. I don't know if it's because she balances supportiveness and controllingness, or if it's because she's just an antagonist, but she gets C tier. Oh, and her primary competition for Soos's heart, Melanie. We love Melanie. She's so cool and so nice and so funny and just like supportive all around. So yeah, she is like our only minor character on the entire list to reach A tier, and it is so deserved. Okay, Love God, he gets D tier, and like low D tier. I mean, he was annoying, but I didn't think he was that bad. Oh well, the true gem of his episode wasn't him anyway, it was Thompson. That's right, the friend who would do anything to keep his friends happy, the mastermind behind his social group's cohesion, and he only gets C tier? Are you kidding me? Who rated this list? Thompson is so good. This is crazy. Well, I guess my only consolation is that Wendy's other friends all got lower than him, but like, come on. They're not even close to being in the same tier as Thompson. No. Okay, whatever. The lumberjack ghost. A man so driven by vengeance his heart turned hard as oak. He's very on brand with his similes. Also, a great high-stakes antagonist, and what is this? An antagonist that's not C tier? That's right, our Category 10 breaks out into B tier. Is he in the very bottom spot? Yes, but that doesn't matter. He's still technically B tier. Oh boy, Pacifica's parents, Priscilla and Preston Northwest. Are they lying, cheating scammers? Yes. Do they treat their daughter as a product to be flaunted and controlled? Also yes, but when the world is threatened and their town is in danger, do they step up to use their resources to protect its people?
I welcome your tyrannical rule.
No, definitely not. They immediately tried to switch to Bill's side, so yeah, they're kind of the worst, and that is something we seem to agree on because not only are they in F tier, they are at the very, very bottom of it and of this entire list. I love to see it. And Pacifica, another link in the world's worst chain, except she's not. Her family name may be broken, but when she said she was going to fix it and flip that lever, oh my goodness, a great character moment right there. Plus her interactions with Dipper. They're so good. So yeah, she takes the top spot in A tier. Absolutely phenomenal. Ford, the man who somehow manages to simultaneously be the biggest nerd and the most hardcore man in town all at the same time. He loves D&D, he loves taking on interdimensional monstrosities, and he learns to love the family he's got, and that takes him all the way up to the tippy top of this Pines family tree. Sorry. Now McGucket. He certainly has had a rough past, but that didn't stop him from pursuing a promising new future, and when he gets his memories back, he goes from being the crazy old man in the dump to the crazy old man in our hearts. He actually managed to sneak his way all the way up into S tier, which is kinda wild. Now perhaps on the other end of the revelatory character arc spectrum is Celestabel Lebethabel, stereotypically pure of heart on the surface, and actually the worst underneath. You all place this unicorn in F tier, and I think that is 100% deserved. Okay, now Dippy Fresh. Where do you all think he made it? I think Dippy Fresh is really interesting because he's actually pretty nice. I mean, a little over the top, sure, but very supportive of Mabel, and he gives great high fives. The only problem is Dipper hates him, and often we see things through the eyes of our protagonist. So yeah, Dippy Fresh got D tier. He was barely better than Robbie. Oh my goodness. And the hench maniacs, Bill's crew, kind of party animals, kind of interdimensional serial killers. I don't know. They're colorful. They just kind of do what they want. But you know what? They're antagonists, and that makes them C tier. And finally, the moment you've all been waiting for, Bill, the biggest antagonist of them all. So yeah, of course, the talking Dorito gets, well, not just not C tier, not even just S tier. No, Bill Cipher actually takes the very top spot on this entire list. I guess Alex was right. Give anything confidence and an approachable demeanor, and people will love it, even if it's just a triangle with a bow tie. Bill may or may not be a trillion-year-old trickster god trying to destroy our universe, but he's so goofy. And at the end of the ratings, the audience loves him. So that is the Gravity Falls character tier list. I want to know, did you agree with all the C tier placements? Do you think Bill is truly peak, or is Soos just underrated? Well, I know my answer, but in any case, I hope you enjoyed, and of course, thank you for watching.